program in Massachusetts.
Hey, my name is Emmanuel Caldillo, Senior Advisor with the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for Hispanics. All right, are you ready to get to work?
Yes, sir.
All right, today we are going to do Unit 3, question number 1. They're smiling, that's a good thing. All right. Question number 1 reads, at the Philadelphia Convention, the framers advanced various plans to solve the problem of representation in Congress. What problems did the discussions on representation generate? What were the advantages and disadvantages of the Virginia plan? What were the advantages and disadvantages of the New Jersey plan? And do you think the Great Compromise was a good solution to the problem of representation? Why or why not? We're ready to hear your response.
During the Philadelphia Convention, the framers ran into many problems of discussing representation. Two important plans were proposed on how to run the government, the Virginia and New Jersey plans. These plans proposed different ways to set up Congress. The Virginia plan proposed a bicameral legislature with both houses having proportional representation. In contrast, the New Jersey plan proposed a unicameral Congress based on equal representation. Disagreements flared between delegates from both sides, with everyone fearing their voices would not be accurately heard if either plan had gone into effect. These disagreements led to the proposal of the Great Compromise. The Great Compromise merged the two plans. This idea outlined how many houses Congress would have and how many representatives would be in each house.
James Madison wrote the Virginia Plan, which outlined how the new American government would function. Madison's bicameral legislature was advantageous because it ensures that both houses of Congress become equally powerful. The Senate and House of Representatives illustrate how a bicameral legislature is an advantage because they balance each other out, creating equality. However, the Virginia Plan had flaws, and mainly the idea of proportional representation in both houses of Congress. Proportional representation in both houses was a disadvantage because the smaller states would have less representation in Congress. The larger states would have more power than the smaller ones. The inequality among the states would result in inequality in the government.
For the smaller states, the New Jersey plan was superior to the Virginia plan. William Patterson of New Jersey led a group of small states to develop the New Jersey plan. An advantage of this plan is each state having equal representation in Congress, which is how smaller states felt their voices would be heard. However, the New Jersey plan would not be successful due to its main disadvantages. This plan was developed to mirror the Articles of Confederation, which were a failure and a formal. Another disadvantage of the New Jersey plan was the provision that Congress could appoint people to the executive branch. The appointees could, in turn, appoint people to the U.S. Supreme Court. This provision gave Congress a tremendous amount of power and could slowly create a corrupt government.
The Great Compromise was the best solution for the problems that arose at the Philadelphia Convention. The Great Compromise gave both largely populated states and smaller states what they wanted in Congress to appoint. The New Jersey plan proposed equal representation, where each state, no matter its population, would have the same amount of votes, so their voices could be heard. They were given the Senate. In the Senate, each state gets 2 senators, no matter their population. The densely populated states got the House of Representatives. This House would have delegates based on how many people lived in a certain state. Today, 700,000 people gain a state representative. The Great Compromise was the best solution to solve the problem between the framers who wanted proportional representation and those who wanted equal representation through a bicameral legislature. Both plans were incorporated into different parts of the compromise, allowing each side to gain something they desired. Their compromise was such a crucial part to the making of the Constitution. If the compromise was not made, then one side would have left the convention and we would not have our government today.
When the framers were writing the Constitution during the Philadelphia Convention, Edmund Randolph and William Patterson proposed different plans on the structure of government and how to deal with the issue of representation. Compromising was and is vital for the construction of our government. The delegates were willing to go and find common ground with one another to move forward for the benefit of the country. This resulted in the Great Compromise, which outlined the legislative branch and ironed out the issue of representation. This compromise helped find a balance on which all states could agree. Today, it seems that people in our government have problems coming together and compromising, which is another benefit the framers had when writing the Constitution. They modeled how people can come together and work for the benefit of their people. And today, it seems we should go back to our roots in order to continue to move forward as a country.
Why don't we start off where you left off, and that is the issue of compromise. Do you think that's important today, and is there a manifestation of it or not of it?
I think it's vital that we compromise hatred on both sides of our government if we talk about political parties, and they are kind of so consumed with the idea that I'm right and you're wrong that we kind of need to start stripping away that so we can come together and work for the benefit of the people and not just for the benefit of the representatives that are writing laws and conducting the government.
I agree with my colleague. I believe that compromise is super important in the government because, like she said, in political parties, it's so hard when you think that you can be right. If you come with compromises, the government will be better for it.
Even though today in our world that compromise is very important, it's most of the time it's almost impossible for our two political parties to compromise on one thing because they're usually like they're holding their ground about what they feel is right and they don't they want it their way.
Besides representation, what other issues were facing the framers?
Building an entire new government. For the past 10 or so years, we had been working under the Articles of Confederation, which had failed due to Shays' Rebellion. The government was built to be so weak because the colonists, now Americans, were so afraid of the British monarchy and how strong the government was and how quickly it turned to oppress them. So they wanted to have something where the states would have more power and the people would have more power, but it quickly all turned to dust. And so during the Philadelphia Convention, they recognized the problem and were trying to find a proper solution so they could move forward as a country.
During the convention, they're actually supposed to fix some of the parts of the old Constitution, the Articles of Confederation, but they ended up scrapping it because they realized that it wasn't working for their country after like Daniel Shays' rebellion, where he took over so much of the government with so little ease. They were so afraid of what happened before that they're unwilling to go out and take charge of their government. So we have a good stance today with the framers. They did a really good job of making the new Constitution.
So we're doing a lot of decisions and facing a lot of issues during these constitutional conventions, but there must have been some rules. And so can you explain what are some of the rules they had during this constitutional convention?
Secrecy. They didn't want any of the delegates to feel pressure from the people that were the actual citizens, because the representatives, the delegates that were at the Philadelphia Convention were a select group, and they didn't want their voices to change or for them not to be able to speak truthfully because they feared the reaction. So they said that for 30 years we're not going to reveal anything what was said. We are going to go and we're going to be honest, and we're not going to tell anybody because we're afraid that that's going to tarnish and that's going to change things because people are afraid of other people.
To add on like what my colleague's saying is during the Philadelphia Convention, they had no doors open, no windows open, so nobody could see them, look in and see them and see what they're doing, and then try to later persuade them when they get the chance to, and nobody could hear them, and so nobody could try to change somebody else's idea.
To add on to what my colleagues have been saying, the framers did not want the citizens to know what they were doing, as they were only supposed to change and fix the Articles of Confederation. They wrote a whole new constitution, which changed the dynamic of our government today.
I agree with all of my colleagues. I think that the reason why they wanted it to be in secrecy because change is a very scary thing, especially when they came from such a tyrannical rule from before, and they're just going from Articles of Confederation where it was all states' rights, but also they couldn't agree. Like every state, all the 13 states had to all agree on one thing, and nothing got done. So for it to be in secret, it allowed influence to not be such a dead-on thing. That was the most important thing when they were talking during the during the convention. They wanted it to be about helping the new Constitution.
So if we had a constitutional convention today, let's take what you just described. Would the issue of secrecy, do you think, be able to exist? And if, to go a little bit further, what might a constitutional convention look like to you today if there was one to be convened? Who would go?
Well, with the Constitutional Convention today, there's so much more diversity today that we see. Before it was all rich white males. Now there's going to be women, African Americans, Hispanics, people of all descents and all races, because we have gone from having only white males being people in charge of the government to now people with different genders and different races being
if we had another one where, you know, doors are locked, only a certain amount of people are allowed in, people would be, you know, pretty upset because they don't want to feel like they're being left out, and they're probably very scared for what the future would hold because now they don't know what's going on.
Now, pretend you're a delegate into this new constitutional convention. What would you change from the president?